It's that collectibles time. Welcome to today's Personal FX.
Good to see you, John.
Thank you very much.
And it's good to see all of our guests who are relaxing in the living room right now, waiting to have their items appraised. I saw Beatles tickets. I think they may be unused tickets. We also have a Coca-Cola lamp and a Paramount Pictures book. As always, these items are appraised, and some of them could be up for sale, and we don't know which ones are up for sale yet.
Very interesting.
And, John, let me show you something. See this background for a cough syrup ad? Before it was the background for the cough syrup ad, it was an actual work of art by Norman Rockwell, and we're going to be finding out more about illustration art, its collectability, and its value.
And this week, we are in the Orlando, Florida area, and you can't be there without at least going by Disney World. That's a shot of the Magic Kingdom about 10 or 12 miles away from our super collector's home. Now, he works at Disney World. He lives in Kissimmee, Florida, and he collects animated talking toys. Got about 1,500. We're going to learn all about those.
Wow, what fun.
Yeah, that's all coming up on today's Personal FX.
But old soldiers never die. Gentlemen, I love.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to today's Personal FX. Glad you could join us. Just want you to meet some of the wonderful people who have come by to have their items appraised on live television. Hello, wonderful people. How are you?
Hello.
Hi. Thank you very much. Nice to see you. Your name, sir?
Paul.
Paul, nice to meet you. Where are you from?
Fort Lee, New Jersey.
Now, I was talking to Paul before the show, and I was saying, you know, in Fort Lee, I know a guy that collects antique radios, and you're saying there's a lot of collectors in Fort Lee.
A lot of collectors in Fort Lee. You know, you just don't know where they are. You have to be able to find them.
He would know. He's a police officer, so he's seen a lot of great collections in that area. What are you going to have appraised today?
Some World War I commemorative medallions.
Good luck with those.
Thank you.
Very interesting. If you'd like to be a guest in our FX department, it's real simple. You just give us a call at that Sprint-sponsored 1-800-FX-FX-FX1 number, and we'll set it up. You don't need a ticket or nothing. All right, let's go out to Florida, where J.D. is standing by with today's super collector. Hi there, J.D.
Hey, John, how are you? Look around me. I'm in Kissimmee, Florida, and I'm surrounded by all sorts of animated creatures, some of whom you might recognize. And our super collector today has an incredible collection of talking and animated toys. Look at this one. This is Snoopy and Big Bird. And we're going to get Snoopy and Big Bird to work here. But this is just an example of some of the incredible animated displays that he has. And they all belong to this man, T-Hup. Now,
John.
How are you, T?
Good, good.
Now, why animated toys, and how did you get started collecting?
Well, animated toys and that, actually, I just fell into. It was just from a childhood type thing from the 50s with the pull strings and stuff. And some of the very first pull strings came out. They didn't have any motion or anything, but I still liked the way that they worked. Then we just started off with, like, Larry the Lion. Okay, he was the first attempt to cross over pull strings to animatronics.
But as we know, things have moved a lot more in the technological direction, and we're going to take a look at some more of his collection and some really upscale animatronics when we come back.
Oh, this is going to be fun. Animatronics. Boy, that sounds scientific, doesn't it, J.D.?
It does.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah, they're supposed to just be talking toys. Now they're animatronics.
All right, J.D., we'll check in with the two of you a little bit later on.
Okay, John.
There it is, an animatronic in action. Look out. All right, let's get into some appraisals, Claire. You got Judith. And
I do. I like talking people, but, John, I love talking toys.
Animatronics.
Ooh, what fun. Susie Anderson, Ron Norris, good to have you here. Would you like some talking toys?
They're kind of neat.
Aren't
That's a nice
they?
collection.
Judith, what do you think of talking toys?
Oh, I love talking toys.
Yeah, but you brought in some necklaces to be appraised
Yeah,
today.
yeah.
Where'd you get them?
This is an estate sale find, and this is Trafari.
We've seen Trafari before. Why don't we pass it along? How good a buy did you get?
Well, I bought it amongst a very large lot, and it's kind of hard to say how much each individual piece costs.
Okay.
Okay, this set is from the 50s to 60s. And Trafari, along with other companies, have been in business for a long time. For collectors, the earlier jewelry from the 30s and 40s is much more expensive, because at that point you even had jewel setters putting in the fake stones. So a lot more work was done on the earlier stuff than on the later stuff from the 50s and 60s. These are collectible. I love how you bought them. I know I spoke to you before the show. She bought a box lot for $100 and sold one piece to a jeweler for $100 and got her money back immediately.
Great
Which is the
idea.
way to buy
Right.
your box lot. Go ahead.
Yeah, as far as Susie being able to identify the date, the reason is that the Trifari mark has a C, which means it's copyrighted. And it wasn't until the mid-50s that you were able to copyright jewelry as works of art as opposed to patenting it.
And how about P is for price? What would you
Well,
say?
P is for price for this set here. It's kind of nice, kind of common, however, not super unusual. I would think this is somewhere between $10 and $20. Probably getting it out of a box lot is a good way to go.
Susie?
I'm about $25 for this set right here.
In that price range, would you like to put it up for sale?
Yeah, we'll put it up for sale.
Okay, do that. Thank you so much for visiting with us today.
Okay.
And our number to call is 212-802-0082. Tracy, come on in next. Oh, you got your Beatles ticket.
Got my Beatles tickets.
Great.
Yeah.
Where did you get the Beatles ticket?
Oh, years ago, someone gave it to me as a present. Don't know why I didn't use them. Stuck them in a book. When I was moving, I was going through books I was getting rid of, and there they were sitting.
They just gave them to you not to go to the concert
Not to
or
go to the
go?
concert. Yeah, I just...
She didn't go.
Didn't go.
Oh, no.
That's what makes it so unusual. This was 1965 in Shea Stadium, and people that had tickets went.
Yeah.
And so to find these in this condition is, I think, a relatively rare piece of Beatle memorabilia.
What I want you to do is to put these into a hard plastic case because you're getting a little rubbing here on the edge because it's been in soft storage. However, they are as close to pristine as you're going to get them.
I agree. I agree.
And the only thing that would make them better would be a signature, is if they were autographed. Tends to be that if things in the Beatles era are not autographed, they go for a more reasonable price.
Well, give us a sense for how much it is in this condition and how much it would be if it had the autograph.
Well, I know we have one auction comp for another concert of an unused ticket, and that sold at auction for $65. That was a number of years ago. So I'd say about $100 a piece.
I think I'm going to stick about $75 a piece. I think Beatle collectors are going to really want this because this was one of their early concerts.
And had it been signed, it could have been up to...
Then it goes $500 to $700 just for the signature.
Without the signature, $75 to $100. Would you like to put them up for sale?
Sure.
We'll do that. Thank you so much for visiting.
Thank you.
And Jay is going to join us next. Hi, Jay.
Hi.
Good to have you with us. Do you do much collecting?
Ever since August 1st, 1939, at the New York World's Fair. I know the date because I have a card from the RCA exhibit that I was televised at that day.
Wow, collecting ever since. And tell us about your Paramount Pictures book.
I picked this up at a garage sale in Bergen County, New Jersey, for $5. I've had it for about 15 years.
$5 is a good price.
And have enjoyed showing it to guests.
What's important here as we fan this book is the fact that it is written in. Condition is essential in the valuation of this piece. It is really interesting to look back at that year and see what was on the books that was going to be made and see actually illustrations from movies that were never made or that the star was switched at the last minute.
So this was a press book that Paramount Pictures did and gave out?
And in the front are the A movies, in the back are the B movies, or at least the listings for it. And there's some wonderful pictures, but again, a large number have been defaced by writing.
Such as this indicated here.
In the upper corner, I guess an exhibitor wrote in
And
there.
additionally, an awful lot of these were produced because these were sent out to movie theaters, whomever, promoters, whatever. And so there were a lot of these out there.
If this were
is
in
not
mint
in good
condition,
condition.
but if it had been in mint condition, how much could it be worth?
I would think it could really command some major dollars because this is the type of movie star collectible.
I'm pinning you down.
Pinning me down, I would think maybe $700 if it were in mint condition.
And in this
In the
condition?
condition that it's in now, I'm going to stick around $100 because it is not in good condition.
Susie?
In mint condition, I'd put it from $700 to $1,000. The way it is right now, which means a dealer has to take it apart and frame up the good ones, I'd put it at about $300.
But considering you only paid $5 for it, that was pretty good. Would you like to put it up for sale?
Yes.
Okay. By the way, John, speaking of movies, I just got to see Star Wars.
Oh, did you?
Yes.
Finally
I had
saw
such a
that?
good time yesterday.
Excellent.
Oh,
good for
time.
you.
Yeah.
You know, looking at that item right there, I think 3 years ago there were two phrases you and I didn't realize.
What were those?
Save the box and mint condition. Those are the two we've learned. All right, let's go out to Florida where Kathy is going to give us a sneak preview of the next item to be appraised on today's show. Hi, Kathy. What do you have there?
Hi, I have a Disney souvenir musical picture disc. I would like to have appraised. Coming up next on Personal FX.
Free entertainment, unconditional love. And you say he's just a pet.
It's payback time. Watch the Pet Department, only on FX.
Mornings at the O'Briens are now 3 times more interesting.
Coffee.
Thanks to Folgers' 3 special wake-up calls. Folgers Coffee House Coffees. There's French roast, hearty and robust, full of flavor. Gourmet Supreme, a well-balanced, truly harmonious blend. And 100% Colombian Supreme, distinctively rich and smooth. The best part of waking up. Folgers Coffee House Coffees. Folgers in your cup.
Your mom says Crispix won't get soggy in milk. Highly unlikely, Susan.
Yeah, highly unlikely.
See, it starts out crispy, but I'm still skeptical.
Me too, I'm so skeptical.
Kellogg's Crispix cereal. Delicious corn and rice that stays crispy to the end.
Okay, last bite, Soggy City. Hey, it's still crispy.
Told ya.
Told ya.
Crispix. Crispy to the end.
You're turning on me.
Some people work in an office, but this is where I work. Out here, I can't afford to be slowed down by irregularity. I'm supposed to be the leader. So my doctor suggested Metamucil. Metamucil is the only leading brand with 100% natural fiber, like the fiber in fruits, vegetables, and grains. It gives my body the natural fiber it needs to stay regular. So these days, I'm feeling on top of the world. Or at least up at around 6,000 feet.
Metamucil, the doctor's natural choice for regularity.
One call to Big Powderhorn Lodging gets you. If it's in Big Snow Country, our getaway planners can book it, rent it, and buy it for you. Big Powderhorn Lodging. Got a phone?
What is the Wisconsin Sports Journal? That's the Wisconsin Sports Journal. Pick it up at over 500 locations throughout South Central Wisconsin.
Welcome back to Personal FX. We have guests coming from all over the country to bring all kinds of items, but I'm so interested, John, in how Bill finds some of his items.
This we go out metal detecting and checking out the old farm fields, and we find out where the houses originally were. And
with a metal detector?
Well, first we look for the indicators like the clay pipes and pottery, bricks, and then we start going around and we start finding sleigh bells and horseshoes, and then it gives us an indicator.
John, forget the flea markets, the garage sale. Get out the metal detector, and that's what you do.
There's no telling how much stuff I've lost at the beach that somebody else found with those things. Let's go back out to Kissimmee. I'm never going to get this right. Kathy is out in Florida. Hi, Kathy. How are you?
Fine. How are you?
Good. Can you help me say this? Kissimmee?
Kissimmee.
Kissimmee. That's where you are. Kissimmee. Tell us more about what you have there.
Okay, this is a souvenir picture disc from Walt Disney World. This was issued in 1973. It does state Walt Disney World Productions. It is a two-sided disc. The picture is on both sides. The disc has never been played, but as you can see, the picture, the graphics are very nice, very clear. It depicts scenes that occur inside the park.
What exactly is the recording? Do you know?
It's different musical From Disney.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Small World and all of that.
Is there a cover that comes with that, Kathy, or?
It does not come with a cover.
Okay. Well, what do you two think of this?
Well, I think it's a recent Disney collectible, and I think because of that, it's not even a collectible yet.
Remember, we
have
use
a
that
long way to go.
30-year mark
Right.
as the benchmark for a collectible, and it's not quite a collectible yet. So right now it's speculation as to what this is going to do in the next 10 years or so. Right now, certainly under $50. What it's going to do to give it that time, I can't predict it
In
yet.
general, without a sleeve, the best thing you would do with that would really be to mount it somewhere in a picture, I think even long-term. Records themselves, in general, just don't seem to go anywhere, unless they're Elvis or something like that.
But
so,
it is a Disney collectible, so hold on
that's what
there.
it's got going for it, exactly. So I'd say about $30 at this point.
Okay, and you agree? Just under 50, say
Under
around
50.
$30? Okay. What do you think? Do you want to take some bids on that? Do you want to hold on to it?
I can take some bids.
All right, we'll take some bids. We'll see what happens. Thank you, Kathy, for bringing that by. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Okay, and that number to call in case you want to place a bid, 212-802-0082. And Bill has joined us. Hey, Bill.
How you doing?
Glad you were here today, sir. So you're out with the metal detector, and this is what you found. Tell us what it is.
It's a button off supposed to be a button off the George Washington inauguration uniform.
Now, how do you know that?
Well, we sent pictures, and we got a book, a special book on it. Tells how many there was made by General Knox. Had the order from George Washington to get these certain buttons, and gives a rating on the different designs on each one. And that one says, "Long live the president."
So you did the research, and you found out there's not that many that we know of.
Right.
How many?
Well, 6 to 10 in existence, it says, because another gentleman found one that was in Treasure magazine a couple years before I did, and they had an article on it, and then Treasure magazine did an article on us guys at metal detector.
All right.
I'm going to disagree with you slightly, only because of new documentation.
Susie, could you hold that up to the camera so we can get a nice look at it? Okay, so you want to...
It's very difficult to see, but this is from the period that you think it is. It is an inauguration button, but these buttons were given to the people that were sent by the particular states or counties to witness his inauguration. They are very rare. They are very scarce, and there are more than 6 of them. And I knew you thought that, so I even have a research book with me that I can show you later. The last one that went to auction was in 1980, which it sold for $800. So using a formula for bringing it up to 1997, my estimate of its fair market value is $1,200 to $1,700 today.
Agreed?
I agree 100%. You've got a cross collectible. It's a button. It's a commemorative presidential type of item, as well as something dating to the Revolution. So you're going to have an awful lot of people that are going to be very, very interested in that. I wouldn't even be surprised if it went higher, Susie.
It wouldn't.
Yeah.
Well, do you want to see who's interested? You want? Yeah, you do.
Yes, I do.
Let's see what happens. Thank you for bringing that by. Appreciate that. A metal detector, and now $1,700 later.
Yeah, something,
Great find.
Roberta is now joining us. Hi, Roberta.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm fine.
Where are you from?
I'm from Long Island.
Glad you're here. What do you have?
It's a cold port urn that was given to me as an engagement present, and it's been sitting, well, part of the time it was sitting in a box, and then I decided to display it. So here it is.
Beautiful.
Okay, well, this definitely shouldn't sit in a box. This definitely should be displayed. This is great cold port.
Beautiful workmanship on this piece.
This is hand painted. It is signed by the artist, which is nice. Underneath, of course, we have the marks on it to indicate that it is cold port. It's not from 1750, however. That's something that they used because at 1750 was around the time that factories started in that area. Cold port wasn't one of them. They started in the late 1700s. But the workmanship on cold port is well known, and this is, I just love it. I wish you had both of them.
That's a deep, rich blue, almost like a
cobalt.
It is
cobalt blue.
Really?
Right.
Okay.
And I would put this, I think this is turn of the century, maybe a little bit earlier.
Well, what do you think in terms of value?
I'll tell you, I like this at about $350. If you had both of them, I think I'd push this around $700, $800.
I was $50 away from them at $400.
You were at about $400. Okay. What do you think? Do you want to see if anybody wants to buy it?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Let's see what happens. Thank you, Bernard, for bringing that in. Beautiful. All right, up next is Paul. Hey, Paul. Glad you were here today, sir.
Hello again.
Thanks again for coming in. Now tell us again what you have here.
I have World War I commemorative medallions that were given to my mother-in-law when she was about 12, around 1918.
Is that right?
At the end of World War I, she told me there were a lot of parades. And what she did was she found some French soldiers, and by speaking French to them, invited them back to her parents' restaurant, which was here in Manhattan. And the one French officer liked the restaurant so much, he came back and brought these and gave them to her.
Oh, great. What do you think?
Well, you've actually got only 3 World War I commemorative medallions. These 2 are not.
Huh.
All right, this is strictly from, I think one is Alsace, I believe one is Lorraine, right. Okay? So those are just commemorative type things from those were they provinces over there? I guess they're provinces, okay? These are, however, commemorative medallions from World War I. I think you've got the Marne,
Verdun.
Yeah, Verdun, etc. You got Pétain is one of the generals here. However, these probably on a general market are going to go for about $10 to $20 a piece to a collector for these. These here, I tell you the truth, probably less than $5 each because they don't really have any super significance.
What do you think, Susan?
These days, they're mostly paperweights on a gentleman's desk, and in an antique show, I've never seen them sell for more than $20 a piece.
Interesting. See, I've always believed age, you know, was more valuable. You know,
Just because it's old doesn't mean it's valuable.
It just seems like it to me. I don't know. That's interesting. Well, what do you think? Do you want to take some bids?
Sure, why not?
See what happens. Thank you, sir, for bringing those by.
Thank you.
Appreciate that. All right, let's go out to Florida. J.D. going to give us a sneak preview of today's Super Collection. J.D., it looks fantastic out there.
John, it is a wonderful world, isn't it? Look at all these animated creatures. Now, this is very cool. Look at this one. This caterpillar is Grubby, and he's Teddy Ruxpin's sidekick. And usually he talks, but he's broken right now. So what do you do when you have a lot of talking animated toys and they break down? Well, T has set up his own animatronics hospital. And here he can take a toy, he can replace an eye, he can fix the tape, or just give it an overall facelift. When we come back, we're going to take a look at many of his working animated talking toys on personal effects. This is like backstage at the Funhouse.
We have lost more games, Charlie Brown, than anyone in history.
She's got a point.
FX would like to introduce you to a real-life hero, someone who can overcome life's obstacles.
He loses and gets hurt all the time. He picks himself up and tries again.
Someone who faces challenges every day.
We knew it wasn't going to be easy in a regular high school.
And someone who never gives up.
You have to believe in yourself.
Corky Thatcher of Life Goes On. You don't have to have superpowers to be a hero.
Okay, I'll remember that.
Everyday life, everyday heroes. Every day, life goes on. At 2 p.m., 1 Central, only on FX.
On the next Family Business, meet a family that skydives together.
And we'll talk about when and how to talk to your child about their adoption.
Plus, the first time your kid goes away to camp. And look, I did the maids.
Oh, right.
Family Business, today at 3:30 through 30 Central.
I've known Sam since we both had hair. Some days his hands hurt to where he can barely tie his shoes. Oh, he'd take 2 Tylenol, but hours later he'd be hurting again. He'd have to take more. He got fed up. So his doctor said try a leave.
I could take just 2 Aleve all day. But Tylenol was taking up to 8.
So he tried a leave. Keeps his pain away up to 12 hours.
What more could you ask for?
A little more hair?
Aleve. All day strong, all day long.
Hi, I'm Betty. This is Pat. We're the Reynolds Wrap Kitchen's home economists.
To prove that Reynolds Wrap heavy-duty aluminum foil prevents frost and freezer burn on steaks better than Ziploc freezer bags,
we did it fast. Night and day, Pat kept watch over the test. Extreme? You bet.
but it was worth it.
Heavy-duty Reynolds Wrap prevented frost and freezer burn better than Ziploc. One more reason, Reynolds has it all wrapped up.
As a receptionist, I try to help our patients feel comfortable, like Kate. The first time she came here, she had a cavity. To protect against this?
Our dentist recommends Crest. Crest can actually help reverse the early stage of tooth decay, like this weak spot, because the fluoride in Crest's patented formula penetrates the weak spot and can actually help stop a cavity from forming. And more dentists have their very own kids blessed with Crest than all others combined.
Hey, Mom, no cavities.
The dentist's choice is Crest Protection.
Did you know itchy, dry winter skin can get worse from hot water and soap? Did you know sometimes moisturizers aren't enough to heal itchy patches of dry skin? And did you know, among these, only Cortisone 10 with aloe has a medicine to stop itch and help heal. So this winter, when you have itchy patches of dry winter skin, even eczema or psoriasis, remember the power of 10. Cortisone 10, powerful itch relief for the power to heal.
One call to Big Powderhorn Lodging gets you. If it's in Big Snow Country, our getaway planners can book it, rent it, and buy it for you. Big Powderhorn Lodging. Got a phone?
Did you know that the Teddy Ruxpin talking toy grossed $327 million in 1987? And that was the first year it was on the market, and it was only on the market for 3 years.
I'd say that was a popular toy. Wow. Wonder what happened after 3 years.
Oh, yeah, why not? Yeah.
We'll have to find out. But let's tell you about the items that are up for sale right now that you can join the bidding process on, starting with the Trifari necklace that dates back to about the 50s or 60s. Because it's one of the more common pieces, worth about $10 to $25, the earlier pieces are the more valuable ones. And then we have the Beatles concert tickets. John, imagine, our guest had tickets to go see the Beatles, and she didn't go.
Amazing, amazing. And that's at Shea Stadium.
The bad news is she didn't go. The good news is she has the tickets. They're not used, which means they're worth about $75 to $100 a piece. And we also have the Paramount Pictures book. It is not in mint condition. That does affect the appraised value. In this condition, because there is some wear and tear, about $100 to $300.
We also have the Disney picture disc, and this is a souvenir item, recent collectible. It's without the sleeve, and that was appraised at $30 to $50. And we also have a button from George Washington's inauguration, and this is very rare. It's a cross collectible. Dates back to the Revolution. This was appraised at $1,200 to $1,700.
Our presidential and super collector from yesterday would really like something like that.
Patriotic.
Oh, patriotic.
Very patriotic. That's right. We also have the pottery urn, and this is hand painted, and this is signed by the artist, turn of the century, dating, let's see, it was appraised at $350 to $400 for that item right there.
And we also have the bronze French medals. There are 5 of them, and they have been appraised at $5 to $20 each, dating back to World War I. So an interesting assortment of items to bid on. Our number to call is 212-802-0082. The one thing you do know about me around toys, John, is I want to play with every toy, but they're down in Florida.
This is the segment for you. Animatronics, yes. I think they're calling it down there, J.D.
That's right, John and Claire. We've come a long way from pull strings, I'll have you know. This is one of those segments where you guys have to pretend like you're 6 years old and you'll really enjoy it.
No problem.
No problem.
This is T-Hup, and he's our super collector. He has over 1,600.
1,600 talking animated toys. Yeah, we have came a lot further than actual pull strings, okay? These are very high-tech toys now.
And they're called animatronics. Now explain the difference.
Okay, animatronics, the difference between, as far as the pull string, it was just a simple string pull reaction, and that animatronics, the way that they work is by a special animated cassette tape. The cassette tape right here, okay, this is not a Raider cassette that you go into any store. What this cassette does has 2 tracks. The first track controls the animatronics itself, which are 3 motors in the head. The second track controls the sound and the voice that you hear.
Okay, and let's demonstrate this. Okay, this is.
Okay.
So that's a classic example of animatronics.
Animatronics. And the way that they're set up is so that they communicate back and forth, responding to each other.
Okay, now here we have, this is, as we mentioned, this is really one of the earliest talking toys, and this is a standard pull toy. From the 50s.
This was an attempt to have some movement added to an actual pull string. The pull string itself with no movement was boring. Right here, they try to add some animation.
Here we go. And he talks, and that's Leo the Lion. This was in the 50s.
This was in the 50s. Okay, and the same spring that makes his record move is the same spring that makes his mouth move.
Hey, JD,
all right, now, yes, John.
I want to ask T, is Disney the one that came up with the word animatronics? Is that where we got that?
Well, the word of animatronics, I don't know if it came from Disney or...
Or they've just implemented it a lot.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's just animation where you're an animated, quote-unquote, animated character that you're putting an electronic device with, right?
This is true.
Okay, now, one character that we saw in the 80s, Teddy Ruxpin, and he got a lot of attention.
Yeah.
Now, this is really interesting because this is obviously a store display, right?
This is true.
Now, tell us what happened with Teddy Ruxpin.
Okay, Teddy Ruxpin was the first attempt at talking animated toys, okay? And he had started off in 1987 and grossed $327 million his first year, okay?
Wow.
He's extremely successful, but the problem was he was just too high-tech for children. And it was, I think if they were to restructure this as far as with the adult market, it'd be more successful.
So this is a store display.
Airship.
Wow.
Let's build a giant airship and sail into the sky. Let's watch the ground so far below. Let's watch the birds as they fly.
That's pretty advanced.
So as you can see on these, we've got a number of characters operating at the same time, right?
Exactly.
And but Teddy was just a little too high tech.
Yeah, he was still a bit too high tech. The idea also with these were to have two characters corresponding back together. Teddy was the primary character, then the secondary character.
And then look at this one. Is this Susie?
This is Susie Scribbles.
This is Susie Scribbles. And again, it was a classic example of something too high tech for kids, because you can't dismantle Susie or she won't work.
This is true.
But what Susie does is she writes about what she's talking about. So let's hear Susie.
This is for Mickey, the famous mouse. And I sure hope that Mickey does not lose his mittens like those silly kittens. Mew, mew. You know.
And she's attempting to draw Mickey, but also Susie can do the ABCs and that sort of thing,
she'll
right?
say, let's take a trip to Paris, and she'll draw you a picture of the Eiffel Tower. Very high-tech toy. It's a very good classic of animatronics.
But kids will want to mess with the arm and pull her out of the chair.
Exactly.
And it just doesn't work that way.
It's a great display piece.
Now, this is an interesting piece, too. We saw this earlier. Of course, I called Woodstock Big Bird. Hello! It just started. But this is a class. Let's kill that. This is a classic example of this company, World of Wonder.
Worlds of Wonder, yeah.
Worlds of Wonder was doing this, and it was supposed to be Snoopy and Charlie Brown.
Snoopy and Charlie Brown. Actually, all the characters, remember, Worlds of Wonder had their setup, so you always had two characters. Your main character and your primary character. But this was made at the tail end before the company went down. So they already had Snoopy made. Charlie Brown was never made. A lot of people were always looking for Charlie Brown.
So this is a rare piece, because this
was at the tail end, and these very few of these displays actually even made it to the department stores.
Okay, and last but not least, we have one item here which incorporates 3 of the different talking characters, and this is the only one that you know of that incorporates 3.
This was one made by Ideal. Ideal wanted to do a little bit better than Worlds of Wonder. There was a big competition, so Ideal came out with having 3 characters instead of just 2. So.
Okay, and so here's what we have.
When Oscar raised his lid, the furry blue Guy Smiley said, "Hello, me, Guy Smiley." These synchronization toys are easy for kids to operate.
So anyway, that's a look at some of T's incredible animated talking toys here. And he has very simple ones, but we've shown you some of his more complicated
JD and
displays.
T, I just want you to let you know this kid is enchanted by them.
You love that?
I love it.
Yeah, we have something for everybody here, all different characters.
Sure do, and I think what's very special, Susie Scribbles' chalkboard comes with a little FX on it, too. I think that's what was really important.
Hey, that's good. We like Susie.
Yeah. Thank you both very much. Really appreciate that.
All right.
1,500 of those.
Well, maybe these toys are just all for adults, because adults are going to greatly appreciate them and not tear them apart.
Yeah.
And we come back, for those of you who appreciate illustrated art, we'll be taking a look at the collectability and just how affordable is some of it.
Another reason to switch from this freeze-dried to dark, rich Folgers crystals. Folgers looks more like dark, rich ground roast. It's fresh brewed coffee made into crystals. Folgers crystals. See the difference in an instant.
Yet another reason to switch from this freeze-dried to dark, rich Folgers crystals. Folgers looks more like dark, rich ground roast coffee, but the freeze-dried costs about $1 more. Folgers crystals, pocket the difference in an instant.
You know, meat's a dog's natural food. Meat's what they love. So that's why I feed mine Pedigree, the #1 meat dog food in America. It's 100% complete and balanced and keeps them in great shape.
Pedigree, developed with vets, recommended by top breeders.
Potato soup?
Actually, it's potato with roasted garlic.
Looks better than mine.
New Campbell's Home Cooking. Select ingredients create a taste like never before.
Like a taste?
Sure.
Honey?
Campbell's Home Cooking.
Packages are Christian Huff's business. He picks up and drops off nearly 50 of them a day. So every morning, he opens a little yellow one labeled Chiquita, with vitamins and valuable potassium, but no fat. It helps deliver what he needs to feel better and gives him a lot to go on. Very important to Christian, along with breaks. Extremely good breaks. Chiquita, quite possibly the world's perfect food.
What is the Wisconsin Sports Journal? That's the Wisconsin Sports Journal. Pick it up at over 500 locations throughout South Central Wisconsin.
Personal FX on the road every day, and here is our schedule. The week of February 24th, we're going to be in San Antonio, Texas, and the week of March 3rd, we're going to be in Portland, Oregon. Now, that week, we are all booked up. That means that we are filled up with as much people coming on to have their items appraised as possible. Thank you for your response. However, March 10th, we will be in Little Rock, Arkansas, still looking for super collectors there. If you're interested, give us a call at that Sprint-sponsored 1-800-FX-FX, one number, and we will set it up. All right, welcome back to Personal FX. It is time to get right back into some more appraisals, and as you can see, we have a whole group over here. Hello, group. How you doing? We got our appraisers here, and we got Barbara and Ray. How are you?
Hi, fine.
Barbara, you want to go first? What do you have here?
I bought this at an estate sale with a few other things in a box. Wasn't that much money. Okay.
Well, let's see.
Okay, well, these are made by a company called Napier. Napier is probably the oldest fashion jewelry company in the United States today, although they really didn't get known as Napier, I think, till the early 1920s. Again, this has the C for copyright, so we're able to date this a little bit later on in the company's history, and probably, again, I would think 1960 in that area for these.
Okay, put your clasp next to this one, please.
All righty.
So we can show the camera.
Right.
Okay. The silver and the gold are signed. The gunmetal color is a different company. It's unsigned.
Right.
Different weight, different clasp.
Yeah.
And where these are strung on chain, the gunmetal is strung on plastic. So it's a different, but it's a nice assemblage. I like the three of them together.
Yeah, well, it works because they're, you know, the three different colors of the beads.
I like the three of them together, but viewers should know that this one did not start in life with the other two.
Right.
But together, they look great, and I like them about $45 worth.
I think about 45 is pretty good for those, and Napier, of course, is a good name.
You agree, Ray? You think about 45
Absolutely.
Yeah? Absolutely. Barbara, what do you think? You want to take some bids?
Yes.
All right, let's see what happens.
Thank you.
All right. And, of course, if you want to place a bid on that item or anything else up for sale on today's show, 212-802-0082 is the number to call to place a bid. And, Ray, what do you have here? Now, this is a lamp that's modeled after something from the 20s.
Yeah, this is a Coca-Cola lamp modeled after a 1920 version, which was made in all glass. This is for 1968. And it hinges. It doubles as a wall lamp. You can hang it on the wall.
Okay. Yep, I can see that. All right, well, it looks like this was well used because it was obviously dropped, and so this is now out of round on the bottom here. If we can get a shot of the bottom, you can see it's been banged.
Are you talking about this right here?
Yeah, this face here.
Out of round.
Right. So that's not real good. The other thing is, yeah.
So we can get
Yeah,
take a look at that.
Right.
Okay.
The other thing is that the plastic top is broken in two places, and that is not repairable.
Right.
So it's a copy, and it was an inexpensive copy when it was made. So on the aftermarket today, I don't think you're going to get all that much money for it. If I were selling that at auction, I think around $5 actually.
Really?
Yeah, even though it's Coca-Cola because of the damage. Now, if you had the original, we're talking a little bit more money, okay? But this kind of a thing, yeah.
I'm under 25 because of the damage on it.
What do you think, Barbara?
I have no idea.
That's okay, you don't have to know. Well, what do you think? You want to take some bids?
Sure.
Let's see what happens. Thank you for bringing that by. Very interesting. All right, let's go out to Florida, where Ron has joined us now. Hi, Ron.
Hi there.
What do you have there you'd like to have appraised?
I have a 1892 fight ticket from John L. Sullivan and the gentleman Jim Corbett fight. It was September 7th, 1892. It was a $15 ticket for a $25,000 purse. And the ticket was never used. It doesn't have the 5 punch marks in it. It's the only one that I know of that doesn't have the punch marks in it.
Amazing.
That is wonderful.
That is the real McCoy also. And remember, $15 back in 1892 was an awful lot of money, but this was a major, major fight. Sullivan and Corbett. The condition, as you can see, it's in very good condition considering that that era. Is it ripped? Is that a rip or just a fold down at the bottom?
At the bottom.
To the leftish, kind of left of center.
Let's see. Down there? Oh.
Just a little fold, just a little nick on it.
Right. In spectacular condition, never used. I would probably think you're looking at $800 and go from there. I wouldn't be surprised if it went well over $1,500.
Right. I have to agree. Also note the plastic case it's in is absolutely correct, and that is the kind of case those Beatles tickets should be in.
Ah, good. Good
move,
example right there. Well, what do you think? Do you want to take some bids on that? We're here and wouldn't be surprised if it went up to $1,500. Or do you want to hold on to it?
Well, I'd like to consider bids on it. Thank you.
Let's see what happens. Thank you for bringing that by. It's one of a kind.
You're welcome.
That's terrific. All right, let's learn more about illustration art. Claire?
Well, John, so often people have come to the show with like vintage magazines, and our appraisers will say the illustrated art inside can be sold separately. It could be valuable. Here to tell us more about illustrated art is Roger Reed, who is from Illustration House in New York City. Welcome to the program.
Pleasure.
When we refer to illustration art, first of all, what are we talking about?
Well, Claire, these are paintings and drawings that were commissioned to bring the text of stories alive. They began 150 years ago for novels and
this is an example of one of them?
This is by Frederick Remington, the great painter of the American West. And he was illustrating his own story here about duck and quail shooting in Mexico.
So back in the days, before there was photography, a reporter might go into the field, like a court reporter does a sketch, and do a sketch of what they saw?
That's right. There was photography, but color printing was very expensive. So they used to reproduce them like these as small black and white.
This is the original work of art, and this is how it was illustrated in a book.
Exactly.
Give me a sense of how valuable is the original art versus what was illustrated.
Well, the original watercolor is 30 to 40,000, somewhere in that range. The pages from the magazines have value themselves, but they're $15, $30 in that range.
We also, I showed at the very top of the show, this is an original painting by Norman Rockwell. Was it intended at first to be used for an illustrated ad?
That's right. It was commissioned by the Paizo Cough Remedy Company to sell their product.
And how much did they pay Norman Rockwell?
They paid him $1,500 in 1920. And today, this painting is worth 100 times that.
And take a look at, it then turned into a cough ad. And how much is the cough ad worth?
Well, they can run in the $15 to $30, $45 range, depending on the condition and rarity.
Let's talk about Dr. Seuss. What determines the value of some of the illustrated art? Because this is the original work of art, and we also have the book that it comes from.
That's right. The value is often dependent on the fame of the artist, and Dr. Seuss is really the best-known children's illustrator of the century. This artist has bequeathed most of his work to the University of California. So original drawings by him are really scarce, especially ones for published children's books.
Mm-hmm. So they're very difficult to find. Is that true of most illustrated art?
Some of them are very common, but they're getting rarer all the time.
Because we find people coming in sometimes with scrapbooks that a family had, you know, with illustrated art inside.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one way. Find it in your attic, I guess.
Well, people are still finding things in attics, especially if they were in publishing families.
Mm-hmm. And what is the hottest form of illustrated art to try to find today?
Well, I brought an example in of a paperback cover painting. And these things were really of very little value a few years ago, and now they're starting to get quite interesting. This was a cover for a horror novel all about sorcery and witchcraft, and it's a form of popular culture that people are now starting to appreciate.
How much can you expect to pay for something like that?
These are much less expensive. This is $1,800 on this piece.
Mm-hmm. The book itself, though, is...
The book itself is, again, in the sort of $5 to $40 range.
When one thinks of illustrated art today, I guess one thinks of New Yorker Magazine. Is that one of the few magazines that still does illustrated covers?
Exactly. They're one of the best venues for the illustrator who's still working today.
So basically maybe save some of these, and someday they could be valuable. We never know.
That's quite possible.
Thank you so much for being with us.
It's been a pleasure.
And there's more Personal Effects to come, so stay with us.
FX says, get ready to roll. Race, rumble, and run for cover. Vegas, weekdays at 10, only on FX.
Terrific.
Oh, yeah. I'm a moist, fluffy cake. Now cover me with some of that creamy marshmallow. Thank you. Dip me in something dark, rich, and chocolate. Am I delicious? And how? I'm a snack, well, devil's food cookie, baby.
Hey, Cookie Man, just make the cookies. Don't sing about them.
Snackwell's fat-free Devil's Food cookies. So good. Can we ever make enough?
Don't quit your day job.
Your mom says Crispix won't get soggy in milk. Highly unlikely, Susan.
Yeah, highly unlikely.
See, it starts out crispy, but I'm still skeptical.
Me too, I'm so skeptical.
Kellogg's Crispix cereal. Delicious corn and rice that stays crispy to the end.
Okay, last bite, Soggy City. Hey, it's still crispy.
Told ya.
Told ya.
Crispix. Crispy to the end.
You're turning on me.
Tefal, the #1 brand of non-stick cookware, is about to change cooking with this exclusive anti-warping stainless steel disc. This is Armor All. Inside, Armor All's unique non-stick surface stands up to scratches like never before. The result is a non-stick pan that's built to last, inside and out. That's Armor All, yours to depend on, from Tefal.
See for yourself why everyone goes to Madison Mazda Mitsubishi.
Howdy, can I help you?
Do you have as many used cars as Madison Mazda Mitsubishi?
Well, no. We got a lot of used cars.
Do you have on-the-spot financing like Madison Mazda Mitsubishi?
No, but we got a lot of used cars.
Is your service department as good as Madison Mazda Mitsubishi's?
Well, no, but we got a lot of used cars.
Great selection, great prices, great service. It's easy to see that nobody beats a Madison Mazda Mitsubishi price. We're dealing.
You're probably sitting there thinking, sure, Wentworth Motors treats me like family, but why should I buy a car or truck from them? You still need reasons? Did you know that it's sunny and 75 every day in Sun Prairie? And that studies show Wentworth customers actually live longer. Actually, there's 3 real reasons. 3 simple words. Milk, bread, and eggs. Selection, price, and service. That is what Wentworth is all about.
Welcome back to Personal FX. John, it pays to keep some old magazines. You might have some great illustrations in them.
I'm telling you, that's something.
I especially love Norman Rockwell. We have a bunch of items that are getting phone call bids we want to tell you about so that you can join the bidding process. The Trafarite necklace, which are having an appraised value of between $10 and $25 from the 50s and 60s. We also have the Beatles concert. Don't you wish she had been there? You know, but because she wasn't, she has the tickets, which are worth $75 to $100 from 1965 Shea Stadium. And then the Paramount Pictures press book. It is not in mint condition. If it had been, it would have been worth a lot more. But in the condition that it is, $100 to $300.
We also have the Disney picture disc, and this is made to be collectible. It's without the sleeve, and this was appraised at about $30 to $50. Who knows what it'll do in the future? We also have the pottery urn. This is hand-painted, and this was appraised at $350 to $400, and that is turn of the century. And we also have the bronze French medals. Kind of looks like a couple of coasters and a couple of belt buckles there, but actually 5 pieces, World War I, $5 to $20 each on that whole set.
It's called being creative. You can do whatever you want with it.
Actually, I got that from the guests in the apartment. They were looking at it going, "Are those coasters?" That's where I got
They'd be
that.
neat belt buckles.
Yeah.
And if you want to bid on them, once you own them, you can do whatever you want with them. 212-802-0082. Let's go back on down to Florida, where Kevin has an item to be appraised. Hi, Kevin. Welcome to the program.
Hi, how you doing today?
Very well, thank you. And are those pins that you have?
Yes, they are. They're Disney Pleasure Island cast member pins.
Do you collect them?
Yes, we do.
How many do you have?
I've got 20 on this board right here.
Mm-hmm.
And these are exclusive to Disney cast members, meaning they're not for sale to the public.
Right. Very limited in number, very collectible right now, and of course you're in the ultimate marketplace for it. But again, they're very new from an appraiser's point of view. But these would be something that if I were in your shoes, I would probably stick it aside to see what it would do in the future.
We're talking wait 20, 25 years?
Yeah.
I would hold on to them for 20 years anyway and see what happens. I think they're going to appreciate in value during that period of time. Right now, however, the market's way too speculative.
Right.
Well, let me have you put some kind of price on it.
Well, you know, scarcity has a lot to do with the value, and these are in very limited numbers, and these are for a Disney collector really to put away for over a period of time. Right now, I mean, new pins go for $2, $3, $5 a piece, but that kind of limited edition is worth putting away because it's going to go up a lot.
Yeah, I would think $5 a piece right now for them, but I would definitely hold on to them for a long time.
Kevin, you're being given some very good advice. Are you going to take it and hold on to it, or put it up for sale?
Well, I'm still going to put it up for sale.
Okay. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, and now on the phone from Guerneville, California. There
The
she
phone
is
is
right
ringing,
there.
right.
Georgia Rodriguez. Hi, Georgia. How are you?
Hi, I'm fine.
Great. Tell us what you'd like to have appraised.
I have a plate. It's 10 inches across. On the back it says Hampton, Ivory, England, and then trademark Old English Gardens, patent pending.
Oh, that's easy to date just by the pattern.
Yeah, I kind of like it.
30s,
It's cute.
40s, colors and everything. Cottage, it does very well with decorators today, especially in San Francisco area and the New York City area, but it's not all that valuable.
No, I don't think so either, and I think that's after 1940, so again, I do like it. It's cute, but I agree with you, Susie. It's not all that valuable. I would say $25 to $35.
I should mention that Georgia did write in that there are no chips or cracks on the item. Just
that's certainly, yeah, that certainly helps.
$35.
About $35. Georgia, do you want to take some bids? You want to hold on to it?
No, I want to keep it. I got it from a special friend.
All right. Thank you for being on the line. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay.
We also appreciate all the mail that we receive
That's right.
around here. If you have an item that you'd like to have appraised on the show and you can't get to us live, you could send us some pictures and videotapes of the item. Don't send a Polaroid, though, but do send information about the item. And, John, people have been concerned about whether, if you want to put up the item up for sale, there's enough time in the show. We should let them know that our phone lines stay open for a half hour after the show.
So it does get done.
It does get done if people have mailbag items they want to put up for sale.
Well, if you have something that you want to have appraised via the mail, this is the address that you send all the information to. Personal FX, The Collectibles Show, P.O. Box 825, Madison Square Station, New York, New York, 10159-0825.
And when we come back, it is that time of the hour, big bid time. Stay with us.
Every town has its share of conflict.
I'm a transsexual.
My daughter's in his class.
Every town has its share of tragedies.
Is he going to die?
Dear God in heaven, and through all the struggles,
I don't even know who you are anymore.
every family must find a way to triumph.
The good in this world still outweighs the evil.
But people
The problems, the solutions. Take a look beyond the picket fences. Every day at 1 p.m., 12 Central, only on FX.
You can never be too careful about the sun. You might think that when it's cold and cloudy out, it's okay, but the truth is, it's not.
Even in the light of winter, UV rays can cause damage.
I can't hibernate all winter long, but I can help protect my skin.
Oil of Olay Daily UV Protectant Cream. Intense moisturization for winter plus SPF 15, the #1 product used by dermatologists, helping prevent fine lines and wrinkles.
If I'm good to my face now, I know it will pay off later.
A lifetime of beautiful skin. Olay's Daily UV Protectant.
I'm walking. Yes, indeed, I'm walking.
Before your cat walks everywhere else, she could be walking through bacteria in the litter box. Introducing new antibacterial Scoop Away, the litter that helps stop the growth of odor-causing bacteria for a whole new level of clean.
If your minty mouthwash tastes a little too medicine-y to you, taste Scope. Its invigorating tingle tells you it's killing millions of germs. Its minty taste tells you how minty fresh your breath can be. Get kissably close with Scope.
Between my job and my kids, I couldn't sleep. So I talked to my doctor.
Today, 7 out of 10 doctors recommend the sleep aid in Sleepinol.
Now I get a good night's sleep and wake up feeling great.
Sleepinol. Sleep well tonight. Feel great tomorrow.
Let me tell you about fish sticks. They're crunchy, and it tastes really good. You can pick them up. You don't have to chop it up like this, all to pieces. Then you dip it in. V-A-N, decans. I usually eat 4 or 5.
Vandicams, the fish kids like to eat.
You should get your mom to get some.
Is your family a blur on weekday mornings? This weekend, slow them down with hot, fresh Pillsbury cinnamon rolls.
So that's what the family looks like.
Weatherman Normie's report is looking stormy, with heavy precipitation and leaks flooding low-lying areas. But wait! Huggies Ultra Trim diapers are moving in with the improved leak lock system. Up front for boys and in the middle for girls. Even after a downpour, there's hardly a leak. And Normie gives the soft cloth-like cover thunderous applause. The extended forecast looks bright thanks to Huggies Ultra Trim's outstanding leakage protection.
Welcome back to Personal FX, and before we get to the big bids, Roger Reed, I want to thank you so much for being here.
Great pleasure.
From Illustration House. You're having your semi-annual auction Saturday, May 3rd.
That's right.
For Illustrated
and we'll
Art.
be auctioning these paintings at that time.
Terrific. And John gets started with those big bids. I can hardly wait.
Well, let me just check with Tracy, make sure are you ready for the big bids?
I certainly am.
Well, then let's get started. Let's go out to Florida right now where Kathy's got the Disney picture disc. Kathy, Richard from Minnesota called in with an offer of $70.
No,
You're going to hold on to it?
I think I will.
Okay, good enough. And let's see, Judith with the necklace, Elizabeth from Springfield, Missouri called in with an offer of $35.
I think I'll hold on to them.
Gonna hold on to them. Tracy with the Beatles tickets, Mark from Phoenix, Arizona called in with an offer of $350.
A piece?
That'd be for the pair.
I'll hold on to them.
You're gonna hold on to them, all right. And Jay with the press book, Frank from University Park, Maryland called in with an offer of $130.
No.
No, that's enough.
Definite no. Roberta for the pottery urn, Greg from Ottumwa, Iowa, would like it for $525.
I think I'll keep it.
All right. And Paul for your bronze medals, Robert from Seattle is offering $175.
No, I don't think so.
Some tough customers
That's
today
right.
here, John. And Ray for the Coca-Cola lamp. We have Carrie from Pittsburgh who's offering $30.
No. We've been
Knock
shut
out.
out.
Yeah.
That's right. Shut out. Let me try this again. Jay with the press book, $130.
Not this year.
We don't care. If you don't sell, that's fine.
All right, let's go out to Florida where JD is going to say goodbye and tell us what's up for tomorrow, JD.
Hey, John and Claire, tomorrow we'll be in Longwood, Florida with a collection of 1,000 bottles, and a lot of them are medicine bottles. So there's thousands of bottles and not a drop to drink. I don't know what the deal is. We want to thank T for showing us his incredible collection of animated toys.
John, we enjoyed having you here today.
Thank you.
All right, thank you both. Fun. And it was fun having you all in the apartment. Make the most of your day, and we'll see you back here tomorrow.
So long, everybody.